Morning students, in today's lecture of computer architecture we'll discuss about interfacing technique. See, we have already discussed interfacing techniques. It has two part: peripheral mapped input output and memory mapped input output. Out of these two mapping technique, we have already discussed peripheral mapped input output. Now in today's lecture we are going to discuss about memory mapped input output. What we are going to discuss about? Memory mapped input output. So let's discuss it. Memory mapped input output, right? See, first we'll draw an architecture, memory mapped input output architecture, so the things will be more clear to you. This is processor, right? And it is 16-bit processor. Let's take it 16 bits. It start from A0 A5, so it is basically 16-bit processor and A7, right? And it has address line. This is the address line, right? Then we have memory. This address line goes to memory where we stores the data. And then we have data lines. See, data lines connect both processor to memory and memory to processor. The arrow is going to be both the side, right? And this address line again goes to input output device. This is input output device. So actually the processor is connected to memory and input output device via address line and data lines, right? This is address line, this is data line, right? So let's write it down. See, this is processor, this is memory, this is input output device. Address line is connecting the processor to the memory, whereas data line is connecting both the processor to the memory and memory to the processor, vice versa. And again this address line is connected to input output devices and data line is again connected to input output device. So this is what the memory mapped input output. This is memory mapped input output, right? So let's understand it. I'll provide you notes in points. I'll make you understand in points so that this diagram will be more clear to you and functioning or each and everything will be more clear to you, right? So let's take the first point. See, in memory input output, what happens? There is only one address space. Okay, so this is really important. So in the interfacing, a memory location and input output device can not have the same address. Since it is having only one address space, so memory location and input output device can never have same address. It has to be different only. So let's write it down. In memory mapped input output, there is only one address space, and since it is having only one address space, so you can write it in this interfacing. In this interfacing, a memory location and input output device cannot have what? They cannot have the same address. So this thing is really important. This point is really important, that in this interfacing, a location and input output devices have separate memory address. They cannot have the same memory address, right? Now see, there is no specific input output instruction. The processor transfers the data residing in the input output devices with the same instruction that was used to transfer the data residing in the memory location. So instructions are not varying, they are same, right? So you can write it down. There is no specific input, let's write in short, input output instruction the processor transfer the data residing means living inside, residing or store in input output devices with the same instruction that I use in transfer, that I use to transfer the data residing in memory location. Right? So there is no separate instructions. See, there is no special type of instruction. The processor transfer the data residing inside the input output devices with the same instruction that is being used to transfer the data residing in the memory location. So the memory location instructions and input output data device instructions are same. They does not vary. Right? That's what they are trying to say. Now let's take another point. See what happened. The advantage of this is that the load and the store instruction used for reading and writing from memory can be used to input and output data from input output devices. So both the instruction load as well as store instruction, we can use that for reading, writing from the memory, and can be used to input output data from input output devices. So the instructions is same. So load and store instructions are same. Getting my point? So the advantage, let's write it down. The advantage of this is that the load, we have two instruction, load and store, right? Why we use load instruction? For read and store. For write, load and write, store instructions. Store instruction used for reading and writing from memory can be used to input and output data from the memory. See what they are trying to say, we do not need a special instruction for this. So what we use for reading and writing from the memory, we use load and store operations. So store instruction, we have two instructions, that is load instructions and store instructions. So load and store instructions are we use for memory, read and write. The same load and store instructions are used to input and output the same instructions. We are not using a separate instruction. We are using this input output data from devices. Getting my point? Same load and store instruction is used to read and write data into the memory, and same read and write operations is being used to store input data and take out the data from the input output devices. Means the instruction doesn't vary, right? Getting this point, why I made this diagram? Okay, now an example of the processor with 16-bit address bus and 8-bit data bus with a memory mapped input output is shown in the figure. See what we have seen in this figures. We have 16-bit wide address bus and 8-bit wide data bus. This is 16-bit wide. This is 16-bit wide address bus and data bus is 8-bit wide data bus. ठीक है. In some addresses are assigned to the memory, that is located some address to the input output devices. Suppose the memory locations are assigned to the address from, suppose say for example some 700 hertz or 273 FFH. So once the address is assigned to the locations, any one of these addresses cannot be assigned to input output devices. So once we have assigned some address to the memory, this is the memory location and input output devices. Suppose we have assigned some address to this input output processor, we have assigned some address, suppose say 700H or something like that. We have assigned address to this. Once we have assigned the address to this processor, we cannot assign the same address to this input output devices. That's what it's all about, right? So the address for input output devices are different from the address which has been assigned to the memory location. Whatever address has been assigned to the input output devices, it's going to be different from the address which has been assigned to the memory, right? So address are going to be different. Hence, the input-out devices can be treated as a memory location. Hence, we can say that the input-output devices are memory location. That's what it was all about, right? I think this much is clear to you. More I speak, then you will get confused in that. Let's stick to this only. Thank you for watching video. And if you have some question, feel free to ask. So let's revise in the end of this lecture what we have gone through, right? We have actually checking the interfacing technique. We have two types of techniques. First is peripheral mapped input output, and second one is memory mapped input output. Peripheral mapped input output, we have already seen what exactly we were doing in that one. Address is assigned to the memory location, can also be assigned to the input output devices. What was the major difference? See, the major difference between the peripheral, we have actually considering two example, peripheral mapped input output, and second one is and second one was memory mapped input output. See, peripheral mapped input output we have already discussed in a prior lecture. Today we have discussed about the memory mapped input output, right? So I am going to give you a soft or quick overview what we used to do in case of peripheral mapped input output. See, the address which has been assigned to the memory location can also be assigned to the input output devices in case of peripheral mapped input output device, whereas in case of memory mapped input output devices, the address which has been assigned to the memory location cannot be assigned to the input output devices, whereas it was just reverse in case of peripheral mapped input output devices, right? So this is the major difference which is basically there in peripheral mapped and memory mapped input output. So if you have any problem, feel free to ask. That's all for today. Thank you.